Ibby was livid. Ibby wouldn't talk to me. You really just don't care, bro. You just spend just because you can.
If you feel any type of sadness, you hide it. You put on a brave face, lock in, put your head down, and just continue pushing forward.
The human experience is mostly pain. I would rather fucking die.
I was bawling my eyes out like the night before. So when's the wedding, bro?
I'll probably try to propose.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the Founders Club podcast. We're back here today with our second ever episode. Renzo, how are you feeling?
Feeling good. You know, last week was a pretty good, insightful episode, but I think we were just trying to get comfortable, and now I feel like today is going to be pretty chill.
Big time, man. We're going to kick things off with a bang today. We're going to kick things off by talking about our first ever big argument. A lot of people ask us, like, what's the first time you guys ever got into it? You want to share the story, or you want me to share the story?
Starting off with a banger. I could share it because I was in the wrong in this one. So basically what happened, this is like right when we met, like literally first 2 weeks back in May 2020. So this guy that we both knew from this course that we bought, like basically me, Ibrahim, and then two other people were all making 10K a month from this SMMA course where you run ads for local businesses. And because we were like the only dope people inside that group, we made a iMessage group chat with each other and we were all killing it. So I'm like, bet I need to step my game up. So me and Ibrahim were both talking to the same potential client. And let's just say Ibrahim are basically already locked in a deal with him. If he was like, yeah, like I already closed the deal, like, but he technically didn't pay the invoice yet. So I literally snuck in, DM'd that same guy. He started talking to me and I basically closed him and got him to sign a contract with me instead. And then Ibby eventually found out. He was like, damn, dude, like this client just like flaked on me for somebody else. And then basically our third friend, won't say his name, but he basically snitched on me and told Ibby that I stole his client. And then Ibby was livid, bro. Ibby wouldn't talk to me. And you know, we weren't that close back then. So I was like, okay, well, it's all good. But the mediator, the other friend, was like, yo, you should probably apologize. So, you know, I texted Ibby. Ibby, when he's mad, does like the 3 dots. Like, bruh, 3 dots when he's pissed. And so, like, I knew, like...
Is that what I actually said? That's so mature, dude.
Yeah, 3 dots, bro.
I was a dickhead back then.
So I knew something was up, and I was like, you know, it's not really worth the client over friendship. So basically what I did was I told the client he should actually roll with Ibby, and then guess what? The client paid Ibby instead, and Ibby made... What type of deal was that? Like a $2,500 a month deal?
Yeah, I think 2K, 2.5K.
Yeah, so Ibby made a good little 2K because I stole his client, but I gave the client right back. So
yeah.
That's basically what happened.
Yeah, basically that sums up our first ever argument. But obviously at the time I was pissed off. I think everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
And you may not know it right now in the moment, but fast forward a few years, you'll look back and everything will just click and make sense one day. So obviously fast forward 5-6 years, I think that was what, like when we were 19 years old, maybe 20?
Yeah, like 20 years old back in 2020.
Now we own 3 multi-7-figure companies together, and that all happened because you stole one of my clients.
Exactly.
But yeah, obviously at the time, pissed off, but him reaching out to me showed me his character. Him willing to want to talk to me showed me his character, and him not breaking our friendship over something small like $2,000 also showed me his character. Yeah, that kind of sums up our first ever argument, which kind of segues me into the next point. A lot of people asked me even the other day, somebody was like, how do you guys split up equity? You guys own a few companies together. What's the split? Do you want to take this one?
I think we've always done 50-50 in everything we do, from Growthology, the Founders Club, and then our third company, Drop Service. We have a third partner, multimillionaires, who made $800K a month, or actually 1.2 mil a month with both of his companies. And we were like, okay, let's bring him on as a partner. So now it's 33% each way. And yeah, we just thought like, actually, you want to explain why we did it that way instead of different splits?
I think it's just because like we both put in equal amounts of effort. And it kind of segues into my next question for you is like, what do you do when somebody doesn't put an equal amount of effort?
So I used to be really bad at this. I would just like get pissed or not say anything. But I mean, now I literally just don't care. Like if someone's not putting in the effort or the right amount of work, I'm gonna tell them straight up to their face. Like example, not gonna lie, we actually posted the first episode of the podcast today. But I had to grind with my thumbnail designer today because he was 2 days late and he threw me out of my workday. And I literally texted him last night like, yo, not gonna lie, if I don't get this thumbnail by tomorrow morning, I'm gonna be pissed. And I woke up this morning, wasn't there. So I lit him up.
I think he said it to us in the afternoon.
Yes.
And he sent us like 20 versions of it too.
Yeah. If you watch last podcast episode, you know I hate checking my phone first thing in the morning. That threw me off this morning. I had to like go back and forth with him to like revise and finish it.
What did he say to you?
So I literally let him know, like, yo, like, you threw off my workday. So extremely hard deadline next week. Every week moving forward, if you miss it, like that's money off your next retainer.
If you're watching this podcast right now, lock in, bro. I know you got to watch it to make this thumbnail, so lock in. Don't fuck up again.
Yeah, but basically, now I just put my foot down. Like, anybody that actually steps over my boundary or doesn't do what's expected, like, that's my fault. Like, I didn't let you know the clear expectations. I'm not going to blame you for it, but I will let you know, like, my expectations moving forward. And if you don't meet that, like, I'm going to let you know.
We give some room for error, but if you make the same mistake more than once, you get replaced. That's kind of how we operate. Yeah. Obviously, you want to have the best people around you, and most importantly, you want to have people that you can trust. That you could tell, hey, I need X, Y, and Z done, and you know you can go to bed satisfied that they'll get it done by the time you wake up. Exactly. Those are kind of the type of people that you want to work with, have around you, and kind of just be friends with too.
Yeah.
Obviously, business isn't perfect. Problems come up all the time. And a lot of people don't really know how to handle conflict.
Tough one.
So I could take this one. When it comes to problems, we rarely get into like, I wouldn't even say arguments, but like disagreements.
Yeah, just like minor like inconveniences on both sides.
Yeah, but like let's say there's something that you want to do that I don't really see the vision in, or something that I want to do that you don't really see the vision in, or whatever the case is. Maybe it's a marketing strategy, like someone to hire, someone to fire. The way that we kind of go about that is I'll talk for 5 minutes, and then I'll let Renzo talk for 5 minutes. And when I'm talking, he won't say shit. When he's talking, I won't say shit. Yeah. I'm just going to shut my mouth, listen to him. He's going to shut his mouth, listen to me. And then after my 5 minutes, he has his time. After his 5 minutes, then we have a conversation where we could kind of talk together for another 5 minutes. And that's when we come to a conclusion. So he sees my side, I see his side. Nobody butts heads. And then we speak together, come to a resolution. And then once we meet that resolution, we agree to it, commit to it, and then move forward, and then kind of just like don't go back and forth ever again because we already had that talk.
Yeah, exactly. I would say the reason why we don't have too many of these arguments, it's because we both have the same goal. Like we both want to hit $1 million a month, be able to sell our software company, and be able to live life on our own terms. So I think when you have the same vision, even if we do have disagreements, like we always align back to that vision, and it usually stems back to both of us wanting to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So, and then also it just helps that my genius is a lot different than your genius. So like example, things you want to do on like the marketing or distribution side of the company, usually just trust me on that. And then anything in terms of like the software or team members or hiring, like I'll usually just trust whatever you got to say. So I think it's just having two different branches that we don't really overlap with each other on.
And then just having faith in your partner's ability to get the job done too.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we've been together for like 5-6 years in business. What's something that you wish you had known sooner?
Like about us or about the business or like what are you talking
business
about?
In general,
Gotcha.
life, partnership, team members. It could be anything, bro.
I'll probably say like it never gets easier. Like I think we always tell ourselves every year like, eventually once you finish this project or once we do this or complete that, like we finally get to chill, we get to rest. But every time we solve one problem, there's like a whole nother beast to accomplish. So I think it's just like, just understanding like it never will get, I wouldn't say better, but every next level gets harder.
I would tell myself to celebrate the small wins more because I feel like we're always focused on the next goal. Even when we were like kids, and it's crazy to say kids because like, I guess we were kind of kids like 19, 20. But like we slammed 10K a month and we were like, all right, cool, let's hit 20.
Yeah.
Slam 20, cool, let's hit 30. Slam 30, 50, slam 50, 100. Now we're trying to get to millies. So like we never really, don't get me wrong, we had fun, we went out, but we didn't really take time to like be like, man, we did that. That's a massive accomplishment for someone our age. It's like, up until now, that's when people are like, hey, what you've done is like really extraordinary for somebody your age. And now it's like kind of mentally clacking for me.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, that makes sense. I definitely should have taken some time to celebrate the small wins because I overlook a lot of the stuff that we've done.
Actually, yeah, I agree. We're 25 now. We're actually like freaking unks in
Unk
this space,
status, bro. Damn.
But I remember when we first moved to this building, we were 22-year-olds, fresh, like
We
being
were the
22.
youngest people to move into
Yeah.
the Skyline units in, I don't want to say where we live, but in this crib.
But basically, we live in, okay, actually I don't want to say that either, but we live in
it's the nicest
one of the
building
taller
in-
buildings in
the
Chicago.
let's just say nicest.
Okay, yeah.
Let's get the dox it.
One of the nicest buildings in Chicago. How about that?
Yeah.
But yeah, we were the youngest, and you know, all the 30, 40, 50-year-olds that live here, they're like, damn, like I wish I could be like you when I was your age. Like that's insane. And then even like 25-year-olds at the time when we were 22, they also looked up to us. But guess what? 3 years later, that age kind of fades away, and now we're just normal ass 25-year-olds making 100K. So
Yeah. Speaking of which, let's talk about spending philosophies because we live our lives very different.
Yeah.
So you could talk a little bit about how you spend your money.
I think for me, because I grew up with Filipino parents and they kind of raised me to save, it's kind of like in a spectrum. Like when I started, like you had a job, like you worked in retail, like you had money, but I never actually worked a retail job myself. Like I tried out for American Eagle and I got fired. I didn't even make the job.
Oh, come on,
And
man.
then I got a job as a computer science instructor for these kids at this coding camp. And I was working on my agency at the time. So I got fired on day one because I was always on my phone. So I literally had never had money until running a business. So I kind of always just learned like, hey, like you came from nothing, so let's try to keep your spending habits like around the same. So for me, I don't try to spend to flex on status in terms of like trying to impress other dudes, or I already have a girlfriend now, so it's not like I have to impress her either. But it's more so investing in either my health, my time, or my relationships. So example, like this camera I'm talking to, this is actually my personal money with this camera. We spent money on that camera with our business account, but that's just because like I like cameras and I like the look of it. Same thing with traveling. Like last year I spent 10K to go to LA, like just cause I wanted to, but that's just because I'm investing in things that I want to do with my life. I think for you, kind of similar, but you just like, you really just don't care, bro. You just spend just cause you can.
Yeah, so similar values, but I definitely spend a lot more. I kind of blow through a lot of money on stupid stuff. So like, I don't like to say I'm materialistic, but I have a lot of materialistic things, so I can't even say that.
Bro, I remember when he first moved to Chicago, he said like, yeah, dude, I'm not really materialistic. He has a Rolex on his left wrist, has a Gucci necklace, Gucci slides.
Yeah, he's
literally everything is Gucci, and I'm like, okay, yeah. Not materialistic, I get it.
Yeah, but the philosophy is kind of just how I grew up. So like, obviously, make sure your family's taken care of once they're taken care of. Then make sure your extended family's taken care of once they're all sorted. Donate to charity, and then once you give enough to charity, you can kind of splurge on yourself. So as long as you kind of find that balance. But when I say splurge on myself, like I kind of do it excessively. Like for example, when I went to Dubai, spent 5 figures. When we went to Mexico, spent 5 figures. I think that trip was around like 12, 13K.
Yeah.
We went to Vegas. Even the penthouse we stayed in, we got a penthouse for like a week. It's the crib or the unit right next to Floyd Mayweather. That was also like 7,000-8,000 just for like 5 days. And then everything we did out there was also pretty expensive. Yeah, just travel a bunch. I'm a big experiences guy.
I'll say there's like a balance. Like before we met, I didn't spend at all, bro. I was living in my parents' basement. I think you might remember the bookshelf, just me
Yeah, I was in all your
trying to make videos in my basement, trying to look cool. And the Ibby's exact opposite, has like the whole life, the watches, the traveling, the experiences. And so we kind of even each other out. So when I'm with Ibby, we spend a lot more. I was at that trip in Tulum.
I dragged his ass there. He didn't want to
like,
go.
Yo, like we're strapping a bag tonight.
You booked your flight, what, like a few days before we were supposed to leave?
Yeah, like 3 days before.
Yeah, because I was like dead set on going to Tulum. I was like, nah, bro. Like we're gonna go to Tulum. We're gonna have a fun time, and we're gonna make some memories. Like
yeah,
that's the point. At least in my opinion, that's one of the points of why you work hard so that you can live your life and have fun and make good memories, have good experiences with your closest friends, family, business partners, the people that you love. I don't understand why a lot of these people, they'll make a fucking bag and they'll just like keep it. They won't like splurge on their family. They won't spend money on their wife. Like they kind of just like keep it for themselves. They won't even like give it to charity half the time. They're just
Yeah.
like, I'm like, why are you working so
Exactly.
hard then? What's the point of that?
Yeah, I'd say for me, similar thing. I would just hate regretting not doing it, right? Like, we went to Lala. Like, I'd probably regret not going to the concert or the festival.
Man, Lala
if I had
was
the
so
chance.
fun. This
Yeah.
weekend was a blast.
Yeah, that shit was lit. Even like the Tulum trip, you know, it was my birthday month. Pretty much had less work to do than normal, and I'm like, yo, I might regret this if I don't go, so let's do it. So ironically, like, that's how I'm able to sell people really easily, is I use that same fear of regret to get people to buy what we got. But that's just how I live life, and I think similar with you, it's all about the experiences and the memories you make. And you know, on our deathbeds, we're not going to have all this money, but we'll have all these memories that, you know, last us, well, I'm not going to say after death, but it will last us a lifetime.
Yeah, they'll last forever. We'll be able to tell our kids those stories. They'll tell their kids those stories, and they'll be extremely motivated.
Yeah.
They'll be like, my great-grandfather, my great-great-grandfather did this when he was
dropped
like
a bag in
19,
Dubai.
20, 21.
Was on
and he
yachts
lived his life to
galore.
the fullest. And that's why we're all trust fund kids, because they work their ass off for us.
Yeah.
That's the dream, man. That's the dream. Let's talk a little bit about financial goals. Obviously, like, you're in a relationship. I'm single right now, hoping to find the one. But obviously, being single, I spend my money differently from you. Like, the past 6 months prior to summer, I was in a new state or country every 3 days and kind of just like living life to the fullest, traveling, having good experiences, just creating good memories. You, on the other hand, what's your main?
Yeah. I had a big epiphany on my 25th birthday. I'm like, damn, I'm 25 already. And I've been dating my girl for about 2 years now, just over. And I'm like, normally people get married around year 4 to 5 in most relationships. I'm like, damn, I actually only have like 2 to 3 years left before, you know, eventually I got to propose. Or not got to propose, but I want to propose.
Yeah.
Have a wedding, have a honeymoon, you know, put a down payment on a house, get ready for kids. So like all of that's going to be expensive as hell. So I think for me, that's what I'm working toward. But I also know you can't only just dedicate your money toward the future, because especially in like our industry, like people are attracted to the lifestyle and the content. So if you're not spending at least a little bit to show proof of concept, then nobody's gonna really give you the time of day on social media, unless you're like Alex Hormozi or someone who's already made it.
Yeah, so when's the wedding, bro?
I'll probably try to propose, you know, obviously if everything goes well.
She's gonna watch this video.
Yeah, I mean, I already told her all the time, probably like in 2 to 3 years. Like that's, like year 4 or 5 is when I ideally want to.
Gotcha. Let's segue into communication styles under pressure. So pressure is something that a lot of entrepreneurs face. If not every entrepreneur faces. It's kind of just inevitable in this business. How would you say our communication and stress tolerances and how we kind of handle pressure when problems come up?
Like I could describe you. You basically put a hard face on and then you just deal with it no matter what. Like
Always.
You're like, like what? Being sad, it's not gonna do anything for me. Like I'm gonna just figure this out. Which is like not a bad thing, by the way. Like, you know, I could count on you. Like when shit falls, like you're gonna be there and you're gonna figure shit out. Same with me. I think for me, same outcome. Like no matter what happens, like I'm gonna do what is required to get out of it. At first, like internalize it. I'm like, okay, this shit sucks. Like I really want to feel this pain and like see how disgusted I am. And then after that, like just dwelling on all that pain for like a good couple minutes, maybe an hour. Then like I come to the realization like it's nobody's fault but me. So even if our sales team's not performing like the way I want or like the way I would want them to, or my views aren't like how I want them to, or if anything's going wrong, then I'll just like blame myself. Like, yo, like the only reason why I'm at where I'm at right now, it's because I put myself in this position. And then once I take full control of that, then it gives me control to make the right changes to get out of it. So I think for me, just taking full accountability and ownership and not blaming anybody else. And then eventually I get level-headed enough that I can figure out what to do to perform under pressure.
Yeah, complete sense. Makes complete sense. I think that we both have a good way of handling, or let's say this, I think we both are very good at handling stress and pressure, and we always make it through and get the job done. But I will say your method is a lot more healthier than mine, because I like don't like to feel any emotions, and I kind of just like truck through everything. And I was having this conversation earlier with someone, I'm not gonna say who, but they were telling me that like you have to internalize it, you have to feel it, and that's like what makes you human. Because if you don't internalize it and you don't feel it, like you can make irrational decisions, which isn't the case with me, but like it could eat you up in the future. So like it's always good to feel the emotions, and they're there for a reason. Otherwise you wouldn't have like emotions like sadness, like empathy, like happiness.
Yeah, I remember back in 2021, like the summer I decided to drop Microsoft. I took this emotions course. You know Charisma on Command on YouTube? It's like this charisma coaching guy.
Yeah.
Well, he had an emotions course. I bought his other course, and it was already good, like how to be charismatic. So I'm like, okay, let's see what this lovey-dovey emotions thing is. But the biggest thing I learned from that is that if you don't fully feel your emotion, it's kind of like a pipe, and like you just clog the pipe with a bunch of like fat, basically. So if you don't fully feel that shit, then you're just always gonna have this pent-up emotion and resentment that basically you won't be able to feel anything else until it gets released.
That's very true, and I'll admit my flaws. It's definitely something that I still need to work on. Growing up, I think I've always just had this mentality that if you feel any type of sadness, you hide it, you put on a brave face, and being sad isn't going to change anything about the situation, so just lock in, put your head down, and just continue pushing forward. That's kind of the ideology that I've always had, and that's kind of what like I've just been using to get through a lot of my problems. Like I don't really feel anything through. I kind of just like put my head down and grind.
I think it's good as like a leader. So, example, like our sales team or our CSMs or anybody, I wouldn't say below us, but anybody that works for us. It's not really the best thing to be crying your eyes out in front of them. Like if they see you're not strong, then they're not going to be so confident in the company either. So I think that's a good thing. It's just obviously personally behind the scenes, like you got to be able to get rid of that or at least work through it so that.
So even personally, like I still kind of hide a lot of my emotions, but like Renzo knows, like we'll have like a call on Monday. Every single Monday we have our leadership call, which I host, and we have all our team leaders on there. And a lot of the times it's like always happy, upbeat, good news. We had an amazing week, and we're kind of just celebrating and talking about like next plans and how we're gonna take over the world and grow even bigger. But obviously there are those times where like things are slow, or there was a system failure, and like something happened, we had to let someone go. But regardless, like I'm pulling up to that call and we're getting fucking hype. I'm always yelling Money Monday at the end of the call because we're gonna be printing up Monday, and we just gotta set the tone for the week. So no matter what happens throughout the previous week, like I'm always showing up, even if like the worst thing happens to me. I remember like I don't want to talk about like what the situation was, but I was going through like a really tough time, and like I still showed up to that call with a smile on my face, and not one person knew that I was bawling my eyes out like the night before, and I barely cried, but that was one of the times that like I low-key lost my shit.
Gotcha. I think I remember which call that is.
Yeah.
For sure. But I won't say the date.
It was a minute ago. But
I won't say when. But yeah, I think that's what Ibby's really good at. It's just kind of like being the rock for everybody else. Like even for me, like there was this one time back in 2022, like won't go into the specific details, but we were going through a real rough period where we weren't closing a lot of deals, and I was like, damn, bro, like this is crazy. Like I don't really see income coming in. Like, bro, like what if we had to like go back to getting a job? And Ibby's like, dude, I would rather fucking die than go back and get a job. Like I'm like gonna do this no matter what, and you could either be with me or I'm gonna figure this out. And I'm like, shit, I mean, if he's that certain, like I gotta step up my game too. And then guess what?
Yesterday, bro.
We figured it out. So
yeah,
I would say that's
you brought that up.
Really
but yeah, that's the thing. Like every time we like, I don't want to say hit rock bottom, but like hit a crazy plateau.
Yeah.
Like we will look at each other dead in the eye and we'll be like, we'll figure this shit out. But like, yeah, I was like a really low point for us. Like I fucking lost like 20 grand at the time to a scam as well on top of that. So like, even like that situation fucked me up, and then everything else that was going on, shit kind of just like was slowly falling apart. I think everybody kind of has like that crisis situation.
Yeah.
And what really makes or breaks you is like how you kind of bounce back from that situation. You can either let it eat you alive and fuck you up and throw you back to like ground zero, or you could just like channel all that energy and be like, nah, we're gonna make this shit happen regardless. And yeah, I remember I was literally like, I'd rather die trying than like just like let this take over our lives.
Yeah. And if you think about it, like even if we were to fail at anything, like there's so much other shit where you could do that's better than the alternative of having to work a job. I mean, no offense to any of my 9-to-5ers watching this video, but Like, I know, like, even though we put in a lot of work and sometimes it's really hard and really stressful, I know the dread of having to, even on a Sunday, just think about having to go back to work on Monday with a boss I hate, a manager breathing out of my neck. That is a lot worse than anything that we go through in business.
Yeah, dude. Even like living up so high in the sky every single morning when we wake up, we look at the highway and we just see all these people like stuck in traffic driving to work, and it just reminds me like, I'm so glad I didn't take that path. Because otherwise I'd be stuck driving an hour to work every freaking day. That shit would be miserable.
Yeah.
But yeah, back to what I was saying earlier. I genuinely think that if you never quit, there's nothing that could stop you from achieving a goal. So like obviously like you deal with a lot of emotional pain, going through struggles, and like you got to kind of win that battle that way through all the emotions. But if you just like put in the action, put in the reps, there's nothing that's going to stop you. And like I think a lot of people just kind of let shit eat them alive and get in their heads. And once you get in your head and you lose that mental battle, that's the only time that you could like physically allow yourself to lose in like the game of life.
I remember during that period where, back in that 2022 period where it was really tough, I remember watching a video on either TikTok or Instagram. Alex Hormozi said he was like negative like 30, 40K in debt, like running hella ads, not getting any money processed in his bank account. And he just told himself like, I cannot lose if I don't quit. And that really stuck with me. And I told that to myself like over and over and over during every tough period. And because we never quit, now we're here. So it's just a matter of every tough period is like one step closer to getting to where you want to be.
I had a question earlier back to when we were talking about emotions. Obviously, like I still handle it the best way I can, but I've been told that I need to internalize them a lot more so that I'm not so cold-hearted.
Got you.
I think I'm very genuine and passionate, and I know how to communicate really well with other people, but with myself, I'm kind of cold-hearted. So that's something I definitely need to improve on. But based off everything you've learned, because obviously you handle it better than me, you've researched it more than I have, what do you think are like some tips to handle like that in a more healthy way?
I would say journaling definitely helps. I know you journal a little bit, but like every night, dude, I literally just free type on ChatGPT, like just everything I think for the day, all my thoughts, whether it's pain, joy, happy, sad, I don't care. Like I'm gonna just write down everything. Won't stop until I fully finish, and then, once I fully finish and I hit enter, guess what? ChatGPT is gonna give me some bomb ass advice every night. So that's one, just being able to write down all your thoughts. But also number two, it's just whenever you do feel a sense of pain, usually for me it's like a tightness in like my stomach or like a knot in my stomach when I feel stressed or like worry about something. You just gotta like really feel it. Like it's kind of like just trapped in whatever body part that, you process emotions. And if you really lock in and feel it, it's gonna disperse throughout your body and then you feel way better afterwards. Like that's the best way I can
That's
describe
what I need to do.
I think for you, you just like keep it in there and then you just like deal with your day.
And then my heart starts to hurt.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not saying I cry. I don't think I've cried in a long time. Only like in, kind of personal, but like example, if I'm in a fight with my girlfriend, I might like cry like a little bit.
I seen you cry, bro. I'm here to.
All right, bet. But yeah, like even then, like, yeah, us dudes, we don't like to cry in front of other people, but even if you're by yourself, like it's not a bad thing to cry if like you're really feeling that pain. Because once you do, then all that pain disperses and you feel way better afterwards. So
no, that's very true.
I guess main thing I'm trying to say is like you just got to fully feel it. And then once you do and it disperses, then you feel way better and you're back to normal.
Yeah, no, that's what I've been told. I have a life coach for those of you that don't know. And that's like one of the main things that she's told me to work on, just like feeling your emotions and like not just hiding them. There'll be times where like she'll try to like provoke me talking about something emotional.
Yeah.
Well, it's like through Zoom, and like I have no emotions when I'm talking to another person, especially like a female, like because she's a girl, and she's like trying to make me cry, bro, on camera. She's like talking about like some personal family stuff, and then she's like, I could sense your breath slowing down, and your voice is changing. Just feel the emotions, and I'm like, I literally can't. I can't feel anything right now. And then she's like, I know you're there. Do you want to cry? Turn your camera off. And I'm just like she's right. Like yeah. I definitely do feel certain things when I talk about certain stuff. For example, like losing my grandfather. Like that's something very hard for me to talk about. Yeah. But if I'm with somebody else, especially like her, I will not be able to like feel anything, bro.
I mean, she's kind of like a stranger still. So,
Yeah.
I mean, even for me, I don't think I'd be able to do that. Going back to the topic of emotions, I think another big change for me that helped is you don't always have to be happy. I think that's like an expectation I had. Like, yo, if I'm not happy, then this isn't right. Like, I'm not feeling good. But the human experience is mostly pain. Like, you're not going to feel happy most of the time. Like, there's a reason why we have goals. It's because we're at point A and we want to be at point B. And so obviously if we have a goal, that means, you know, we're not really satisfied with where we're at. But it's like the journey and the destination to be happier and eventually get to where we want to be that brings us a sense of fulfillment and joy. So you have to realize like a lot of people's days feel actually really shitty and actually really hard and a lot of stress. But it's that pain and dealing with it is what allows us to be happy in certain moments.
Yeah, no, it's true. That's something I talked about with someone recently too. You've got to go through the lows to fully appreciate the highs.
Yeah.
So every bad thing that happens to you, obviously like it will not feel good in the moment, but you're going to process that emotion. And then once you move on, once you get past that and you're back on like the high horse at a peak, you're going to be like, I'm so grateful that happened. And I feel extremely happy. Yeah.
Exactly.
So let's move it on from emotions because
this ain't a therapy course, but you know, I feel like a lot of entrepreneurs don't really talk about this, so maybe it'll be like a good little insight for some people watching.
If anybody wants to hear more about it, hit up Renzo in the DMs.
I don't know if I'll respond to that, but
no, I'm just
maybe.
kidding.
Maybe.
Let's talk about future plans. What's your 5-year goal for us or in general with life? We'll be 30.
That's crazy, actually.
We'll be Dylan's
Being
age.
30.
Old man.
That's actually official on age.
Yeah.
I'd say like 5, but kind of extending the 5 to 10 year frame would be kind of what I mentioned earlier, being able to hit that $1 million a month, hopefully sooner, but you know, I always try to overestimate how long things take because usually things do take longer than what you want it to. So hopefully $1 million a month by year 5 to 10 from now, and being able to sell our software company for like a multiple 8-figure exit. And then from there, maybe even 9, you know, shoot for the moon. Let's keep going. And, you know, once you have all that capital, literally you could just do whatever you want. Like I could, you know, just go on vacation all day if I wanted to, could invest in other companies and do more like private equity to stay back in the entrepreneur game, or just invest in real estate and just chill. So I think there's a lot of different avenues, but I think it's just given me working hard enough to be able to get to that point in life where I literally could just do whatever and not have to work.
Yeah. We pretty much have the same goal. Just adding on to that, obviously want to be married. I want to have 4 or 5 kids, maybe even 6.
Damn.
5 boys, 1 girl.
Is that how your family is right now?
Nah, I got 3 siblings,
Gotcha.
3 boys. I'm the youngest, and then an older sister. Yeah, that's the dynamic. But I don't know, I just want a big family. I think one of the most important things that you could do in this world is create a legacy and carry on your family name. That's why I said 5 boys, but I still want a girl.
Gotcha. Carry on the Ansari name.
I love my nieces, so definitely want a girl too. Yeah, I think that's like why you work so hard. Once you have a good person in your life, like obviously you're in a relationship right now, so you know, it kind of drives you. It makes you extremely motivated, and every time you get down, you have somebody in your corner cheering you on. And I think there's no better feeling than falling in love with somebody and creating another human life with half of you and half of the person you love, and you bring a fresh life into this world and you raise them based off of your collective morals and values. And I think that's just like so cool.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely want at least 2 kids. I would say if I have 2 boys or 2 girls, then I'll shoot for a 3rd. Hopefully I'll get a girl or a boy, but if not, hey, I'll take 3 boys or 3 girls. And yeah, I completely agree. Like when I started dating my girlfriend, she's a YouTuber. I actually just hit 100K subs. Shout out to her. But she works way harder than me. Like I know I work a lot, but she grinds probably 12 hours a day, like on different stuff. And when I see her grinding, like when we started dating, she was waking up at 5 a.m. I'm like, all right, my girl's not going to be waking up earlier than me. I'm waking up at 5 too. And just like little stuff like that, it pushed me to be even greater. So like I feel like if I wasn't dating my girl right now, then I wouldn't be where I'm at right now. And it's all because she motivates me through just like leading by example.
100%. I've seen the character development. I think you guys both make each other much better people.
Yeah.
It's really cool to see. And shout out Allison. She just hit 100K on YouTube.
Yeah.
Congrats.
Give her a sub. Allison.Beck.
But sub to the Founders Club.
Yeah, facts. Sub to us first. I think today we have like 12 subs. So.
No, 14, bro.
Oh, 14. Okay.
It's just
Yo, if you're a part of the 14, shout out to you.
You're
you are
a fucking
an
G.
OG founder. Okay.
Yeah. All right, we got 15 minutes left. Let's do rapid fire. Got some questions here.
Sweet.
First question: who's a better negotiator?
You.
Yeah.
Dude, I just get sold so easily. Like I'm really good at selling, but the opposite's also true. Like if someone tells me a price, I'm like, yeah, bet. Like I'll do it. If he's like, nah. Like we don't need this option. Like, well, we could roll with somebody else. This is like a little bit too expensive for us.
I don't know how. I just always get my way, bro.
Yeah.
But I think the reason why is because I'm not afraid to walk away. Like genuinely, we have so many options out there. So if anybody comes up to us with like something I just like don't align with or don't really like see the value in, I'll be like, all right, I'm cool. Like I'll find somebody else.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a lot more to it, but just like I'm just not afraid to walk away.
Yeah. Ibby gets the most insane rates. Like some of our like contractors, like if we told you the price right now, which I'm not gonna say, you wouldn't believe it. I'll just say that. But I think it's because like you built such a good brand on Instagram that when people check out your page, like they really want to work with you because like, hey, this guy seems really cool, connected with a lot of high level people. Like, yeah, I'll take a pay cut to work with him. So I think that's what's been happening lately.
Yeah. Also, I think just like communication. Obviously, I talk to so many people, bro. My communication skills have just increased rapidly.
Yeah.
Since like starting out in like 2019, from being like a little shy kid to just like not being scared to talk to anybody and just having genuine conversations with so many real people and actually like giving a fuck about everybody that I meet.
Yeah. True.
Yeah. Who's more optimistic about hitting goals?
Ooh. If you read the book Traction, there's the visionary, and then what was the other one? I totally forgot that one actually.
Visionary
and the executioner,
like
something
operator.
like that. Operator. So I would say Ibby's definitely the visionary. Like this guy thinks of a bunch of different ideas he wants to do, and then I'm kind of like, how the fuck are we gonna execute that? Like that's kind of like a crazy ass idea. So I think Ibby definitely is a lot more optimistic and sets really high goals for us, and I'm kind of I'm not the realistic guy, but I always try to think of like how can we actually make that dream a reality.
Yeah, I wouldn't say realistic's not the right word. I would just say how to take something that I have in my head and create a roadmap to actually achieve that goal.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I think that's why we work extremely well together, because I have these crazy fucked up ideas in my head. Some of them are really good. Some of them are just bad.
Really bad. But hey, they even out.
But regardless, like Renzo's just got everything down to a science. Like he'll just create a roadmap and just like sit in his office and like just plot everything. All right, so this is how we're gonna do this. This is how we're gonna make $1 million this week. And I'm just like, all right, bet, fuck next one is who makes decisions faster.
Definitely me.
Yeah.
We literally thought of this podcast like 2 weeks ago, and I'm like, we're filming. Okay, the first episode last week, we were mad tired, and I'm like, we're filming today. Like, I don't care. Like, we're getting this done. We're getting it out there.
That's true.
I would say you're more of a perfectionist. Like, you like to make things really perfect before letting anything out or doing anything.
Yeah, no, that's exactly what I was going to say. I
again,
pay attention to, like, every specific detail.
Yeah. Even your YouTube video you just posted today, that took, like, 3 weeks since you last filmed it.
Because I went through like 6 different revisions.
Yeah,
and
for me.
each revision I had like 30 different edits that I wanted.
Yeah.
And by the 6th one we probably had like 300 edits.
Exactly. Like for me, like for a YouTube video, 1 week max. I don't even care if it's not like fully perfect. I'm gonna just get it out.
And then even this morning I was watching it once the editor uploaded it to my YouTube channel, and I was like, fuck, he didn't forget to fix this one part, but like there was this one part that it like didn't line up on camera.
Yeah.
And I was just like, all right, it's already up. I'm just gonna finally post it.
Nice.
So yeah, I'm slowly improving.
I think we even each other out. 'Cause sometimes like I do shit too fast where it's actually not good at all to put out. But I take a lot of inspiration from Ibby in terms of making things look really premium and elite. And then I think I would hope to say you follow me a little bit and take a little bit faster action.
Yeah, that's why I didn't delete the YouTube video. I was just like, I'm just leave it up, bro. We already put it out there.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but yeah, very good point. Next question is, who's better with difficult clients?
You, by far, bro. Okay, so back when we're still running our agency today, but when we were like really scaling and landing client after client, at one point we were spending $1,000 a day on ads, and if you know anything about running ads, like getting clients from cold ads who know nothing about you or your brand bro, they expect a lot out of you. So we would have clients that would text us or, you know, try to call us we were in college back then, 21 years old, 2021. This is like 1, 2 a.m. and we have clients calling us while we're like partying or like, you know, at a bar or at a frat party. And I'm like, yo, Ibby, take care of this, bro. You got it. It's definitely been Ibby. I know sometimes for me, especially when I was younger, when I was like 20, 21, sometimes I wouldn't handle my clients the best way. And then Ibby would look at the text and he'd be like, yo, like unsend that.
Can't
like
say that.
You cannot say that.
I remember
that
that so vividly back in the day.
Yeah. And he was like, unsend that, send this instead. I'm like, bet I definitely need that.
And this was pre-ChatGPT, so I was actually being genuine and ripping everything off the dough.
Yeah.
Because like, I mean, we were kids back then. We were like 20, 21 years old.
Yeah.
There were times where like a client, it just happens in business. Like they'd be like annoyed about something, or maybe a project was taking too long because we were backed up somewhere. We were trying to manage just like scaling really fast and getting more clients and finding that fine line. And yeah, sometimes clients were just like not happy. So they'd text Renzo because Renzo had more contact with me at times.
Yeah.
Because he worked a little bit more directly with a lot of our like higher ticket clients. And they'd be like, hey, like this is taking way too long. What's going on? And Renzo would just give him some half-assed response, like, be patient, bro, chill. I'm like, well, it wasn't that bad, but it would be like a little. You threw some sass in some of those.
Yeah, I was a sassy boy back then.
So then he'd send me a screenshot. I'd be like, yo, like this client's like being super annoying. What's the timeline on his project? Because I'd take care of like some of the back end stuff. And then I'd look at the message and I'd be like, bro, you cannot fucking say that.
Yeah.
And then I'll be like, unsend that. I typed something up, made it really genuine, showed that I cared, or showed that we cared.
Yeah.
And then gave them like something to look forward to. Maybe sometimes it was like some extra just to buy us some more time.
Yeah.
And then they'd be satisfied.
Dude, I think what happened was, I don't do this anymore, but I used to give every one of my clients my personal one-on-one phone number. So
terrible idea.
They would be blowing me up every day, and you know, I'm trying to like hang out with my girlfriend or like my friends, and I'm seeing all these texts blow up on my phone. I'm like, bro, let me just live a little bit. So I think that's where that came from. So we don't really have that happen as much anymore because, you know, we have support tickets, we have, you know, different client communication channels. Definitely don't use your personal phone number. And when you're able to just separate work and life, especially not using your number, life becomes a whole lot less sassy. I'll say that.
That's true. I got an interesting one here. Who's right more often?
I'll say me.
You gotta back it up now.
I don't want to like expose you with different things you tried, but
Do it.
I would say, okay, don't get me wrong, bro. You're right a lot of the times too. I would just say like certain things like, example, different shout out campaigns we tried, or different content styles, or different.
So yeah, no, I would agree. I think I take like crazy risks, and that kind of just makes me not right a lot of the time.
I think it goes back to what we said, like you're really opportunistic, but sometimes it's super risky to the point where I'm like, whoa, bro, like this could really fuck us over if this doesn't play out.
There's been times that it has.
And, you know, sometimes it's paid off and, you know, we've scaled really well. And sometimes it did not pay off. And, you know, now we're stressed to the moon trying to fix your mistakes. So probably in terms of decision making, we're around equal. It's just you take more risk, which obviously means you're going to be wrong sometimes as well.
Yeah, I'm very risk tolerant.
Yeah.
I do take a lot of risks, but I think it's important too in entrepreneurship.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe not as crazy as me, but yeah, maybe it's something that gets out back a little bit.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Like I take a lot of risks too. I think.
But it works out sometimes
yeah.
too. Like even starting the software company, like
Yeah.
it was a big risk, and I kind of was the one that pushed for it. I set up a lot of it, and obviously it's been working out. And now we have a sellable asset within the next few years, and
Yeah.
it can make us a lot of money and help a lot more people.
Yeah, I agree. And like as you could tell from this podcast, like we balance each other a lot. Where he's obviously on one side of the spectrum, I'm on the exact opposite, and we try to, I wouldn't say compromise, but rub off on each other to meet out like a good middle point.
Yeah, this is another good question. I can answer this
Yeah.
because I already know the answer. But people want to know who works longer hours. And
I'll
the
let you
cake
answer.
goes to Renzo.
I'll take that. Dude, I think it's just because like I really like what I do. Like even at Lawler, bro, I was thinking about like, yo, how can I make my AI bot better? Like, how can I make a video out of this? I think for you, you enjoy having a separate like work and personal life. So like when you're out of work, like you like to have a lot of fun, hang out with the boys, maybe not entrepreneurs or content creators, just chill. I think for me, like I just think about entrepreneurship all day, trying to make more money, and it just so happens that I just put in more hours because of that.
Yeah, I'm just big on like communicating to people. So like handling things within business, visionary, looking at like the bigger picture, and then once I'm kind of clocked out,
Yeah.
I like to just like go out and enjoy my time.
Yeah, I think for me, like we talked about this last podcast episode, but if I lock myself in a room for 6 to 8 hours, like working on something I really want to work on, like that's a lot of fun for me. You definitely could not do that yourself, just because you're more like the guy who wants to talk and be able to communicate.
It's
with
also
other people.
like I'll say this too. It's really hard for me to focus on like one thing. Like I've never been diagnosed with anything like ADHD.
Yeah.
But like I'm convinced that I have it because like I can sit down and like lock in on something for like maybe like an hour, but like I'll need to do something within that like hour just to like allow my mind to think about something else and then get back to it.
Yeah, exactly. And for me, I'm the exact opposite. Like I only want to do like one thing, and if someone like distracts me from that, or like I have to do a bunch of different things at once, then I get like either stressed or I get annoyed.
All right, like I enjoy doing a bunch of different things at once. It might not be
Yeah.
the best way to go about things, but that's kind of just how I operate. And like just to put it in perspective, Renzo's gone through like so many programs and so many courses because he has the ability to sit down and just lock in for like 8 hours and watch every single video
I
at
like
2x speed.
listen to courses while I sleep.
That's crazy. Like I cannot do that. Renzo will send me a course, I'll watch one video and I'll be like, all right, I'm fucking bored. I'm more of a hands-on person. I'd rather just like learn through trial and error.
I remember we invested in this mastermind that costs $16,000 a year. And so like I went through everything, right? I went through every call, got all the sauce. And then like a whole year later, like one of our entrepreneur friends, we were at dinner and he asked Ibby like, how was XYZ's program? I was like, oh, there was only like one course. Or there was only like one call a week. I was like, bro, what are you talking about? There was 5 calls a week that we hopped on.
He was like, what was like the most important thing you learned? I was like, I don't want to say what it is, but I said like one thing. And then it was like, but there was this, that, this. And I was like, I didn't really pay attention to it because I'm just not, like, I wasn't able to focus.
Yeah.
I just like, everything I do, dude, is just like through experience. Like I just, I take a risk. Sometimes it works out and I learn from it. And like it benefits me and sometimes it doesn't work out and it's just a lesson learned.
Yeah. And that still is the best way to learn. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, even though I'm going through all this information, I still put in a whole lot of action on top of that information. Like, if I was only going through all the courses and podcasts and I didn't do shit about it, then you would be better than me, like actually learning from doing. So I would try to do both, but yeah, I don't know, bro. I just like really like information. I don't know. It's just like every time I learn something new, I'm like, dude, this is cool.
Another way
I
we
want
balance
to
each
do
other
shit
out
with this.
because I hate school and it shit reminds me of school.
Yeah. I think it just helped because I was a really good student back in the day. So it just kind of naturally translates into learning more about shit that actually makes me money. All right, so it looks like we're running out of time. It is exactly 10 p.m. Central Time. So to wrap this up, as you can tell, there's 2 types of people. There's people like me who just love to learn and consume information, and there's people like Ibby who kind of learns more about doing and hanging out with other entrepreneurs and connecting and seeing what other high-level entrepreneurs are doing, which is why we have our free school community, aka the Founders Club, the real Founders Club, not just this Founders Club podcast, the real community right here in the link in the description where you can join. And we have 2 things for you. One, we have our free course inside the classroom section, which will teach you literally everything. I don't gatekeep anything, all my best sauce on how we've made millions of dollars online. And you could be like me and actually, I don't know, listen to it while you sleep, listen to it while you take a walk in the morning, who knows? Or you could be like Ibby and actually like connect with a bunch of entrepreneurs and learn what they're doing, because we have people making 3K, 5K, 10K, even 100K months inside that community, and it's again all free. So just check out the link in my description. But other than that, if you haven't followed me or Ibby on socials, my @ is @Renzo_Guevara on Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. Ibby, shout yourself out.
At the Ibrahim Ansari on all platforms. Make sure to give me a follow. Check out my content. And as always, this is going to wrap up our 2nd ever episode of the Founders Club podcast. If you like this episode, if you found value, if you want to check out the next one, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And we will see you in the next one. Peace.